Hey all, and welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be looking at one game that I played in my tournament. This is round 5, and I'm going to be playing against my younger and slightly worse opponent, Kai Lan. And we're just going to get into it. This game was... It was okay. It was okay. I start off the game with d4, my opponent goes knight f6. I think here for a while. If you know me, really I shouldn't be thinking on move 2. This is a tournament where we have 90 minutes and 30 seconds increment. It's not like we have unlimited time. I shouldn't be thinking that much. If you know me, you know what I like to play against knight f6. And if you watch this channel, you know what I play against knight f6. I play bishop g5. Always have. And in this tournament, I decided that I just decided that I didn't want to do that. I know some lines after simple bishop f4, but I don't know them by heart. And I was hoping my opponent would transpose back into a normal position, so I simply played the move bishop to f4, and my opponent decided to go d5, which is nice, and it allows me to play a normal game. Except for the fact that I didn't play a normal game at all because I did some really weird things. Like I played this move knight d2, which is not the move order. That's not the move order, not at all. The move order is e3, and then I play either knight d2 or c4, depending on what he plays. But I played knight d2, which is fine because he played c5, and he lets me transpose back into the e3 position. He plays knight c6, now he fully transposes back with c3, and already you might be getting a little bit of deja vu from game 1, which I believe was titled, I'm Going to Do Terrible Things. Yes, that game. And in that game, after the move bishop f5 and knight gf3, my opponent played the move queen b6. And that is exactly what happened in this game. In fact, to a T, it is what happened in this game, except for my next move. In my round 1 game, I messed up. And I played a bad move. I played queen b3. Simply forgetting my theory, I played queen b3 and got into a pretty bad line after this this position came to being. But instead of queen b3 this time, I learned from my mistakes. I found the theory, and the move here is d takes on c5. The only move for black. Just believe me, the only move for black is queen b2. You don't have anything else besides queen b2. And now white plays knight d4, targeting the knight and targeting the bishop. And if the knight takes, which is the most natural move, then white is clearly winning. After cd, we have this really nice pawn structure. Black can never play e5, and white is just better. This queen is misplaced. There's no real way that black can win this game already on move 8. I don't care what the engine says. I like this position for white. Actually, the engine says e5, just giving up the pawn. Oh, that's crazy, actually. No, we're not going to go deep into this, but this is the line the engine suggests. Either way, instead of that, my opponent just drops back his bishop to g6. Decent move, but it allows me to immediately pressurize him. And I was thinking about a couple of things. Of course, I want to play queen c1, but queen c1 doesn't work right now because of queen c1, rook c1, and I thought this move e5 was very strong. Yes, I can take here, but at the end of the day... Oh, actually, no. After this, take my bishop, and now at the end... Well, obviously I can't recapture, but now at the end of the day, I am a lot worse with pawn islands, and I would be losing. So I was a little bit worried about b5. I was also thinking about this move, knight to b5, but I briefly considered my opponent's options, and I thought that he had this very nice move, long castles here. You might say, no, that's illegal since the bishop defends the square, but the piece has to defend the square that the king is going forward, so it has to be one of these two, and so long castles is definitely a legal move. I thought this was very strong for black, so I thought knight b5 wouldn't work. Even after knight b5, my opponent can simply play rook c8, and I have no more fun. But I ended up finding the best move, and really the only move in the position, the move bishop to b5, which gets a nice, great move if I run it through the engine, and run it through game review. In fact, I will. Real quick. Why not? Let's run through game review and get this going. Yeah, we get a great move because I'm great. Anyway, now my opponent has to really kind of defend himself, and I'm already winning the game. I'm already simply winning the game. In fact, I am easily winning the game. And I should have found out why I was winning the game, but I don't find out why I'm winning the game because I am bad at the game. A lot of the word game there, but bear with me. What I should have done here, and what I really should have just realized is that, okay, my opponent's not threatening anything. This pawn is not hanging. I can just castle. If he takes this pawn, I win the game. First of all, the top engine move here is queen a4, sacking this because I completely win. I win everything, even the worst move in the position, bishop takes c6, is completely winning. There is nothing here for black. But even if I don't find the knight sacrifice, it's winning very easily another way. Knight takes c6, and the rook is actually trapped, which is kind of fun. You might think, no, it's not. After this, the rook isn't trapped anymore. And you'd be right. But I have bishop b7 first, and the rook is trapped. The rook has no squares. You can't make squares for the rook. If you can't defend the pawn either. It's just a physical impossibility. If you go here, I can just sack. Like that's nothing. Even queen a4 probably works. Yeah, everything is winning here. So we're not taking that as a real answer. And of course, after this, I have bishop takes c6, pinning the rook to the king, winning the rook. And I should have realized that. That's a big mistake of mine to just overlook that whole tactic. But I was kind of playing on autopilot here. And that's really disappointing. I'm disappointed in myself. I should have been more alert, and I should have played the game properly. I played queen c1, which loses all my advantage immediately. Simply because my opponent now trades the queens and gets an extra tempo where he can play basically wherever he wants. And the move that he played is a very reasonable move. He played e6, and it goes on. The game goes on, but there's nothing here anymore. Although I think there is something, because I get really excited here. I'm like, wait, I'm winning. I'm trapping the rook. And I am trapping the rook. But then why is the advantage plus 0.1? The reason why is because after this whole sequence that I found this, knight c6, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna trap the rook. I'm so cool, I'm so awesome, and the best chess player ever played game ever. Yes, chess, I love chess. And I was really happy because this tournament has been awful. This tournament's been terrible. I think at this point, I'm half out of 4, which is really bad, or I guess 1.5 out of 5, but I don't count that one because my opponent withdrew. Either way, my opponent has to take, and I'm trapping the rook. Bishop a6, and I'm getting my first win. I'm like, oh my god, rook d8, bishop b7. I'm winning the game. I'm not winning the game. I'm not winning the game. The rook is trapped. In fact, I'm losing the game, but it's kind of hard to figure out how to lose. I'm going to show you the line that lets him live and what happened in the game, and then I'll go back and show you the line where I'm actually losing. My opponent takes on c5 and gets very lucky here. He told me after the game that he was very scared and thought that he had just blundered the game, but he told me he got lucky. After bishop c7, which traps the rook, there's nothing he can do. The rook is trapped. Rook d7, bishop c6. The issue with this position is that my rook is also trapped, which is really funny. Bishop a3 and my rook is trapped. The bishop controls this square, and my rook comes here. And this, and my rook is trapped. If my rook goes to d1, which is what happens in the game, my rook is just trapped. Which is so funny. I was so after bishop a3, I was honestly laughing to myself by how absurd this is, where both our rooks are trapped, and it's probably like, I don't know, equal, probably equal. The engine says equal, For some reason, my next move gets a brilliancy, but it's not. I just play king e2. Yeah, it makes the most sense. My king gets active, and I prevent this, and now my rook is coming here. Also, I did make a conscious decision to put my rook on d1, so he loses the light squared bishop instead of his dark squared bishop. Because if he loses his dark squared bishop, then what happens is my rook won't be able to go to the b file, because the light squared bishop defends that. And so if he loses the light squared bishop, now my rook can go to the b file. Takes on d1, I recapture on d1. My opponent goes king e7, forcing me to take the rook. After king d7, probably white has a very slight edge. Probably in this position, white has a very, very, very slight edge, and the computer agrees it's plus 0.03. And the reason why is very reasonable. It's because, well, that's how reasons are. It's because his rook can't get to the b file, which is pretty nice. So I just go bishop e5. And I'm actually slightly better here, like very, very slightly. White is pushing, like from a practical standpoint. But in all honesty, it's probably a draw. And I understood that. I realized that, and I just offered a draw here. My opponent accepted. There are no more moves. Yeah, we just made a draw. I know I was pushing, but I didn't want to. I don't want to lose another game and be half out of 5. I think that would really, really make me depressed. So I didn't do that, and this game ended the draw. But there's still one thing that I haven't looked at, and that's why was I losing? Why was I losing here? Why is bishop b7 a losing move? And that's very, very interesting. First of all, it's not what you may think. It's bishop c5, and it's the same idea with trapping my rook, but a little bit more nuanced. After bishop takes, after here, which is what I thought that was the best move, my opponent doesn't have to do anything. Like, yeah, his rook is lost. But currently I'm down a pawn, and if he just does this, rook d8, he sacks the exchange, and he does actually sack the exchange. I can go knight b3, for example, and now my rook is not going to be trapped anymore. But in this position, actually, black is considerably better. He goes here, I come my bishop back, and knight e4, and as you can start to see, it looks like black is just doing very, very well. Like, I can try with c4, but then there's bishop b4 check. There's not much else for me to really try. I'm just going to lose this game, which is very interesting. It's very, very instructive. Also, after rook d7, bishop c6. No, not there. Not there. Not there. No, not there. Sorry. No. He can do that. That's fine. He can. That's fine for me. But yeah, he just gets a ton of play in this line after all this, and well, black is winning, which is very, very interesting, very, very instructive. It's something I should really work on myself, because a lot of the time these like exchange sacrifices to just get a monster position is just really, really very interesting. Like knight e4 is just such a gangster. It's such a good move. It's such a good move, knight e4. Like if he didn't have knight e4, like let's say something random, h6. I mean, now I can probably play f3 or something, go king f2. I'm still losing. Okay, that crazy stuff. These lines genuinely are insane. The computer says c5, c4, king c7. Okay, yeah, a little too dank, but it's just insane how this position where it looks like I'm just winning, I'm trapping the rook, is just not. Either way, that's the only game I have for you today. The last round of the tournament is going to be up tomorrow, hopefully, unless I'm lazy. So we are going to see that. It's a very, very good game. Stay tuned. A little bit of a shorter one, only 15 minutes long, but still instructive, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys found this entertaining. I hope you guys found this instructive, all of the above. If you did, remember to like, subscribe, do all the normal things YouTubers tell you to do. And, yeah, good evening and good night.